What's good, everybody? Welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. Today's Tuesday. I see we have a surprise visitor at the last minute.
I made it. I made it.
Mina too. As soon as I hit play on the intro here, she goes meow.
Hi,
And of
Wade.
course, we are joined by our good friend of the channel, Wade from Ringscoops.
Hello, ladies.
Hello,
And
hello.
so so I thought Marie was going to be on vacation this week, and I went ahead and called up Wade, and I was like, we really need to do a podcast because we got a lot going on. You want to be on the show with me? And the other day, Marie, she told me, she goes, no, my vacation was next week. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
Well,
three's
that's all
company.
good.
So.
Absolutely. I am so sorry about being late.
It's okay.
Today was fiasco day, and then on top of that, the restaurant was like, "Hey, we're out of gluten-free bread. Is wheat okay?" Stares. No, no, it's not okay. I can't eat that stuff. So that was ugh. Okay, but I'm here. I'm here. So
Better late than never, that's for sure.
yep.
So it's good to be on here again, even though I was stressing myself out trying to get everything together. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna come, no makeup, Utah t-shirt. We're just gonna roll with it today. So yeah, we got a few things going on. We got Money in the Bank coming up. We got Forbidden Door coming up. Um and all that good stuff. And of course, it wouldn't be Peaches and Power Bombs, and I wouldn't feel right if we didn't mention the Iron Shiek. Um, as of this, as of now, um, as of today, June 13th, no cause of death has been revealed. Um, but he was definitely one of the industry's greatest heels. I mean, if you think about the greatest heels in pro wrestling, he's on top of the list. And up until his last tweet, he yeah he lived it to the max. I was like, I wouldn't have wanted that any other way. And thoughts?
Go ahead, Wade.
Um, Iron Sheik is he was an interesting character. I actually had the honor and the privilege to actually get to know Iron Sheik over the years. I had him on my podcast about 6 times in the last 20 years,
Wow.
and I got to meet him in Atlanta in 2011.
Okay.
And the conversations that we had, both on and off the record, were so full of knowledge. I learned so much by conversing with Iron Sheik and getting to know him as a person. One of the funniest dudes I've ever known. Um, in Atlanta,
Yep.
when I was meeting him, I was approaching them, and some of the guys were moving the table. It was him and Nikolai Volkov. They were moving the table, and Sheik didn't know. And he felt the table move, and he stands up and he turns around and he's like, "Who the F is moving the table?" And he going nuts. And then he sees me and he goes, "Oh, hey, buddy, come on over here. Come over here." Then he starts yelling at the guys again, going, "Move the fucking table." It's just, that
That's
was
funny.
Sheik. He just spoke his
Mhm.
mind. And, when you think of legitimate tough guys in the wrestling business, he is up there.
Mm-hmm.
He was a man's man.
Yep.
Sheik was he was a real man. He went through a lot in his life, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna miss Sheiky baby.
Yeah. I
Yes,
didn't
me
get
too.
to know him, but I did meet him briefly. Dallas was working with him a little bit a couple years ago, so I got to meet him over there with Dallas, and he was a sweetheart to me, and just as nice as he could be, and really funny, really funny. So I got to meet him too, and I'm really gonna miss him and his
Um,
tweets because his tweets were great.
Yeah, during my time on Twitter, that was probably one of the highlights for me. Was it was the social media. He didn't hold back, that's for sure. So long live the Shieky baby. We are all going to miss him, and there won't be another one, that's for sure.
No.
No, one of a
Yeah.
kind. One of a kind. Shieky, we'll see you down the road, buddy.
Yes. All right. Next up, we'll go to a more happier topic. Obviously, there's something in the water in pro wrestling. We got some pregnancies galore.
Yes, we do.
So Carmella announced she was pregnant, and soon after, Ty Mello announced she's pregnant. Alexa Bliss announced that she's pregnant, and then the former Billie Kay has recently announced that she is pregnant as well. So we got a slew of wrestling babies coming.
Is there a correlation between this and Iron Sheik's passing by chance? Does Sheik have anything to do with this?
I don't think so.
The spirit of the Sheik is so big that it lives on in 4 people.
That's right. Lots of Shieky babies.
Yeah.
Shieky babies.
A lot of humbling.
Yeah. Break your back and make you humble. But yeah, that was I know, well, there was one correlation. Apparently whoever works with Asuka ends up pregnant lately, so Bianca Belair had posted on her social media and tagged her husband Montez Ford and was like, is this why she's coming after me? But congratulations to all the ladies for this happy time in their lives. Yeah, Mina says congratulations too. But yeah, I mean, that is. I just remember, like, you never really heard of them being, pregnant or whatever, and now all of a sudden it's like, whoo. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. So, but I think it's nice to see that they're very open about it, especially Carmella. Carmella suffered a miscarriage, so she's definitely being proactive in terms of having a healthy pregnancy this time around, and I do wish all of them the best. So, any thoughts on those?
Just happy for them that they get to experience that in their lives. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, major congratulations.
Yes, to all involved. We got a comment right quick. Aranitra, Marie's friend. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for coming on. Join in the conversation whenever y'all can. We will be here for a little while, just talking random stuff. We got a lot going on. I figured we'll talk Money in the Bank first and some WWE happenings, and then we'll focus on AEW.
Okay.
And in between, we'll talk about The Rock for a moment. So WWE's building towards Money in the Bank. We already got the men's Money in the Bank set up. If I remember, Ricochet, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Damian Priest, Butch, and Shinsuke Nakamura is your competitors for the men's Money in the Bank. I am 100%. I 100% approve this. I love it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if it was me or Wade or what we were doing.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to step on any toes, so.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, I don't have any problems with the selection of the guys in there. Ricochet, of course, is going to do something, you know, eye-catching, fantastic in there. Jump off of something at some point. And then, of course, you want Butch, who, or Pete Dune, or whatever you want to call him. I hope he gets his name back at some point. You want him to have a good showing in front of his hometown crowd. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
great.
for sure.
And you know, Damian Priest is on a roll right now, even though he lost at Backlash. I don't think that really mattered all that much. I think it kind of catapulted him a little bit. And I don't know, it might actually cause something in between, a little, maybe a grift with the Judgment Day at some point, because he's on such an incredible role. And then Finn Balor is just kind of sitting there, kind of left down in the dumps. And we'll I guess we'll talk that he's going to be having a match with Seth Rollins as well. They set that up last night.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't think he's probably going to win that, so that's going to, cause that little, just a little bit more of that tension in the Judgment Day between those two. So I'll be interested to see what they do with that. And of course, LA Knight.
Yeah.
What else can you say about LA Knight?
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Yeah. LA Knight's a great talent. I had the honor and the privilege to be able to call some of his matches early on in his career out here in SoCal. Great talent.
What are your thoughts on this match, Wade?
The men's Money in the Bank match, I like it because there's not a former world champion in it. So that means that we are guaranteed. Well, I shouldn't say guaranteed. Like what happened last year with Austin Theory, right? He wasn't even in the match and he won it. But we are almost guaranteed that we're going to get a fresh face that's going to get this Money in the Bank and go on and get into the main event picture by the end of the year, hopefully. So that's refreshing, and I think they got a great mix of talent in there. You got Ricochet that's going to be able to pop off a lot of the high risk moves. Shinsuke as well. You got the technical abilities of Butch and LA Knight, Santos Escobar. He could do it all. He's a utility player. And then you got Damian Priest, who's the big man, who's probably going to be the guy that's going to be delivering a lot of the high spots to these smaller guys. It's just a great mix for something really special that's going to happen that night, and I'm looking forward to it. The fan in me really, really wants Shinsuke Nakamura to get it, but the business side of me is saying LA Knight has got to get this thing, and if he doesn't, some bad stuff's going to happen.
I like that. For me, I would love that too. But I think Damian Priest is going to be a front runner because he's absolutely on fire right now. He's definitely a front runner. And also, I want to point out that several of these guys have main event experience in other promotions. Ricochet was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. He's had experience in carrying a company. LA Knight was the top star, primarily NWA. Let's see, Butch, he was hot in NXT UK. He had that championship for a long time. And also, you can't forget Shinsuke Nakamura. He's a world champion in his own right in Japan. So most of these guys that have world like main event, experience, and for this is like a chance for them to have it on the big, big, big stage.
Yeah.
So, I think everybody's going to be in for a treat. I mean, London is going to be in for a treat, and Butch is going to get a lot of that home support. But yeah, I love the fact that LA Knight could get it. I do see Damien as a front runner, with him being on fire right now. And also, I don't know, nobody's ever mentioned this, but Damien's gear, primarily his pants, they're very reminiscent of Bret Hart's back in the 90s, like around 95-ish. It's a similar design, so I wonder if it's like a tribute to Bret Hart or not. It's just something I noticed and nobody else said anything about it.
And purple instead of pink.
It's purple instead of pink. That's right. Yeah.
That could be.
I don't think as a fan you could go wrong with any of the guys that are going to be presented in this match, but Wade made a good point that it's got to either be LA Knight or Damian Priest. I think those are the two, from the business side of things, that those two are the most logical choices. But all the other guys are fantastic in their own right too. But the other two guys, it just feels like it's their time. It's LA Knight or Damian Priest, in my opinion.
If I can make a bold prediction, out of those two, whoever does not win Money in the Bank, I'm calling it right now. The other one's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
We can handle that, because Cody doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble again in order to challenge Roman. So
nah,
because by then he will have a list of names underneath his belt: Brock Lesnar, yada yada yada, all the way down, and he'll be able
Cody,
to.
he's facing Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank.
And everybody is downing on that, and I don't understand why. I think it's a cute little pit stop for him until Brock and he challenges Brock for the third time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a good promo last night, and the week before too. They had good stuff going on. So I'm just Dominic is easily WWE's top heel right now. Every time he goes to talk, they just boo the crap out of him.
It's great. It's great. It's funny because everybody was saying, "Oh, Dominic shouldn't be there," and yada yada, And now look at him. Since the Judgment Day picked him up, and he's been with Rhea Ripley, it's just took off, and it's great. I love seeing him just learning.
He's
how
under
much
a hell of a learning
blossomed.
tree.
Oh yeah.
Especially with Edge in the fold too there for a while, while they were feuding. So let's see, there was and then you got Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Speaking of the Judgment Day.
Right.
That's going to be so good. Had their promo last night. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
It was good.
It was very good. They brought back their showing from SummerSlam 7 years ago, where Finn was the first Universal Champion, but he had to relinquish it due to the bicep injury that he had sustained during that match. I'm really glad Finn's getting another chance to be in the main event scene. I feel like that took a lot of I feel like he made a good point last night. It took a lot away from him. He just he used Seth. Used Seth to explain that. But yeah, it really did. Finn was the first pick in the WWE draft that year, and he was coming off a really good run at NXT. He was already a world-renowned superstar, and then when he got hurt, it just kind of derailed everything, and it's done taken up to this point for him to get back where he essentially belonged in the first place.
We never really got to see Finn Balor get to the level that he should be. They gave us a teaser 2 years ago with him and Roman, and they never followed up on it. They never finished it. I have no idea what happened. It felt like they were going to do something big with him, but they just, I don't know, they dropped the ball. I don't understand it, because Finn Balor's hell of a talent. This guy, he's got charisma just oozing out of him, and his ability in the ring is almost unparalleled.
Yeah, that was really weird ending. It's like he came back, he was down. Like, was he the demon during the entire match, or was it just, well, I'm sure it was. And like he died, and then he came back and he was on the ropes, and then the ropes were cut, and then he disappeared, and I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? And then it's like the next day he's back to being Finn Balor, the yada yada man, and I'm like, what? And they never addressed that again. And so leading up to WrestleMania, I was making jokes with, about Edge. And I was like, Edge, all you have to do is cut the ropes, man. That demon will be toast. It was crazy. That was so weird. It's like that they were trying to come up with creative ways to keep the title on Roman, but not make the other person look absolutely horrible. And it backfired. And it was just so confusing.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And definitely, I think Seth Rollins is going to win. He's obviously the top baby face on Raw right now, next to Cody. Him and Cody are neck and neck to me. When Seth come out last night, he was dancing. I had told the mister, I was like, I said, Lord, that poor thing just has no rhythm. No rhythm.
I think that's the point.
Oh God. I was just sitting there like, oh my God. I was like, well, I guess go big or go home. It used to be cringy, and now I kind of look forward to it. What has happened to us? Any more thoughts on the title match?
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins has got it in the bag. I think it would be too soon for him to drop the belt. They made such a big deal over it, and rightfully so. A new belt, a tournament, and the presentation behind the match at what was the event called? In Saudi,
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions. My mind is spacing out. I'll be honest with you girls. I have not watched much wrestling in the last 30 days.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is probably the first time since I was maybe 5 that I've watched this little amount of wrestling. It's been a long time, but I keep tabs on some of the stuff. But yeah, no, I think it's too soon for Seth to drop the belt. They made a big deal over it, and he won against AJ. Was a great match, by the way. I think Seth, to establish this belt, I think Seth needs a very lengthy run, and not just running over 1 or 2 contenders over, say, 5 months. Give him an 8 or 9 month run and have him run through at least 5 contenders or so in that time. I think you can get a lot of content in that. Almost like the boyhood dream Shawn Michaels 96 run. Give him something like that. That'll establish the belt. And then by the time that he drops it, it'll be meaningful. It won't feel like it's hot potato like it was in the late 90s with the belt. I just think that would be the way to go, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
I was going to say this too, as we were talking about, we kind of touched on it earlier. If Damian Priest wins Money in the Bank and Finn Balor loses this match, which I think Finn Balor will lose, and there's a high probability Damian Priest winning, and I think that's gonna cause some rift in the Judgment Day. I think we're already seeing a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Because Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Dom, they had a backstage segment last night, and they're laughing and cutting up. Finn's like, so um that could be seeds being planted. I don't know. Might be nothing at all. You never know.
It's kind of like The Rock and the Nation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We got a couple of comments right quick. We'll take a quick breather from that. Shane, sorry for being late to the show. Got involved in working Bible lessons. Completely okay. I'm glad you're here. Braun Breaker will give Seth a great match, but I see interference by Carmelo. Talking about Carmelo Hayes. That's right. He's on NXT tonight, ain't he?
He is.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Who's Seth Rollins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Braun Breaker called him out and asked and challenged him for the title. And Seth is supposed to answer him tonight.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that tonight then.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'll tune in for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be a good show for sure. I like NXT. It's just one of those things I really, literally do not have time for, unfortunately.
Same here.
Yep. And a lot of wrestling on television these days.
Oh, I know. Like, I mean, I just wish I was 20 again. I had all day to do this stuff, but I don't.
Right.
Welcome to adulting.
Right.
I mean, if somebody says, "Hey, you should check this out," I would do that. I try to make every effort to do that, and it's kind of like you got to pick and choose your battles. It sucks. Like, but yeah. But I'm just really glad there's so much content out there. And plus, my nephew, he's living his best life watching all the wrestling. So,
bless his heart.
Yes,
that's great.
when he spends the night with me, he'll just throw it on YouTube and he'll screencast to my TV, my big screen, and he'll watch all kinds of indie mess and some, like a lot of times like Kenny Omega or the Bucks had indie appearances and whatnot, and he'll watch that, and I can hear it in the middle of the night, and I'm like, what have I done?
You created a monster.
Yeah, I did. I did. So, I completely, I don't know why I did this, but Money in the Bank. Okay. Then the women's Money in the Bank. Let me grab the link I had. I accidentally got out of it because I wasn't thinking. The women's Money in the Bank. We got Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Bailey, Io Sky, and then you got one more is to be determined. I'm assuming there's going to be a qualifying match on SmackDown Friday. So I'm thinking probably Bianca Belair is going to be the final person. I could be wrong, but that was the first thing I thought of.
No, because she's kind of in this tussle right now with she was promised a rematch from Adam Pearce with Asuka.
Oh, okay.
And then she promised not to interfere with the new title presentation, and then Charlotte shows up and demands a match with Asuka. So I'm thinking it's either going to be a triple threat or Bianca going berserk on somebody.
Oh, yeah. Sure enough. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, who could be that final person? Lacey Evans, perhaps?
How about Trish Stratus?
It's not going to be Lacey Evans because she lost her qualifying match against Zelina Vega.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how much we're behind people.
I'm trying to think of all the people that is on SmackDown, but I really don't know.
Is Zelina Vega on SmackDown, or was she transferred to Raw?
She's on SmackDown. She
She's on
claimed
SmackDown.
she was the one that beat Lacey Evans. I'm reading it now.
Right.
Okay, so Becky Lynch and Zoe Stark are the only ones from Raw that are in this match?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bailey Io Sky is in there. And we might see more dissension with Damage Control too during this match as well. Dakota Kai is hurt, unfortunately. Well, you got Raquel Rodriguez, but they kind of got something going on with Ronda and Shayna. So
how about Candice LeRae?
That too. I think it could be anybody's game, really.
The last time I watched Raw, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Weren't they running vignettes for Candice?
I don't know. Were they?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's horrible for Raw that we don't even know.
I mean, well, they kind of were hinting at the Way returning to be together on Raw.
Yeah.
You know, in Indy, Hartwell could be a part of the match too. You never know.
I would love that. I'd love me some
anything
Indy.
as far as
I said I would love that because I love me some Andy Hartwell. She's amazing.
Yes, we definitely love the Way, and we love Index for sure. I think they're like one of my favorite wrestling couples, because it's just so quirky, you know.
Yeah.
Did you see this message from Shane Marie? They have the newest Eddie Kingston action figure at Walmart. It has 2 replacement heads in it.
It's probably the same one I have.
Ah.
Unless it's a newer edition than the one that came out last year.
Uh-oh. Okay.
But thanks for the heads up.
You know,
no pun intended.
Yeah. I think it was intended.
So I think we can I definitely think I think Zoe Stark could actually win this match. I love the fact that she is under Trish Stratus's tutelage right now. I love it. She's a veteran herself, Zoe is, and I like the fact that they have her as Trish's ally. I could definitely see that happening, just so Becky couldn't have the briefcase. I could see Trish getting involved and helping Zoe win to further escalate their feud.
I think it's a little soon because Zoe just came up onto the main roster and people really don't know who she is all that much right now. That's not a knock on her or anything, or saying that she can't, obviously. I see it either being Zelina Vega or Io Sky, and causing, again, that rift between her and Bailey.
Oh, Io Sky is a really good one. I think that's my new prediction. Shane says, "What about Shotzi?" That's a good one too.
I forgot about Shotzi.
Yeah, I'd like to see Shotzi in it, actually. She's one of those diamonds in the rough to me. I love the TCB tank.
Yes. That's great.
Yeah, so but as of now, that's pretty much it for Money in the Bank as far as that goes as of now. And we'll talk about this right quick. We got new title designs to celebrate Roman's 1,000-day reign as WWE champion, Universal champion, whatever they call it these days. He got a brand new belt, and it just like the women's champions did. Asuka got a brand new belt, and Rhea Ripley was presented with her new belt last night. So that kind of solves the issue with the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions bit. I thought it was weird, but good for them. I guess I like the title designs. They're not the ugliest I've seen.
Rhea's is really pretty. I don't really like Asuka's all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Or Roman's. Roman's looks like
Yeah.
ketchup and mustard to me.
Well, I'm just glad he has one title now and doesn't have to drag two around.
Yeah.
And I really, this bloodline stuff, like, it keeps getting better and better for me.
They
Like,
just
Jay
need to give
made
Jay Uso an Emmy already.
Jay Uso is the bloodline MVP. I mean, he deserves all his flowers for sure. And so WWE's done their title revamp, and hopefully that will be it for a while as of that. So
It's a
now,
good thing,
uh-huh.
especially with the women's titles, that we have. It's not branded, anymore.
Yeah.
So when they do switch it up, it won't be such a problem.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the only thing is for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, right? I mean, they're still carrying around 2 titles. They're still both Raw and SmackDown tag team undisputed champions or whatever. So
Yeah.
all of the issues haven't been solved. I don't know what they're going to do with those, if they're going to eventually split them up or if they're going to unify them completely like they did Roman's or not.
Let's see. There's the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn problem. We still got it.
I have a suggestion on how to fix that.
What's
What is
that?
that?
I say they take one set of tag team titles off of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and present it to you ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
That would mean we would have to defend them though, and I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, we would forfeit. No lie, I actually had a dream last night that I was in Canada for a show, and like me, Marie, and some of my friends were like best friends with Sami Zayn.
Of all people. Hey,
Of
that's
all
a cool
people.
dream though.
Yeah. I don't know where it came from. I didn't even get a chance to tell Mister that, but yeah, I just was like, when we were talking about it, and he mentioned that, it just brought it back up, and I was like, there's probably a reason why I had that dream.
At least you didn't fight a bear with John Moxley in yours like I did.
Yeah, or make a grilled cheese sandwich with Cody.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I have really weird dreams.
What's in the water over there?
She actually told Cody about the dream too. That's what's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 days later after I had the dream, I met him and I was flustered because there was a lot of people in the room at the time. So I was feeling really anxious. And when you're feeling anxious, you have no control over what you say.
Yeah.
So it just came blurted out, but he was really sweet and he was like, "Oh yeah, well that's funny, I actually see that happening because I don't eat like that." He was talking about there's another part of it and I won't get into it, but so yeah.
Actually, we had grilled cheese sandwiches for supper tonight. Oh gosh.
All right, well, what's next?
All right.
I'm sure Wade is not here to talk about our silly.
I know. They're probably like, what are they talking?
A grilled cheese sounds pretty damn good right now too.
Mm-hmm. All right, I decided to do this between WWE and AEW. The Rock has a string of bad luck lately. It was reported that in FXL's first season, they lost $60 million.
Ouch.
And then yesterday, it was announced that Young Rock was canceled. Of course, the lovely internet wrestling community is all over this, and like, they're literally laughing about it, and oh, he's going down, da da da, he's failing, blah blah blah. The Rock probably has $1 billion worth net worth, and The Rock, I mean, considering all the success he's had in the last 25 plus years, you win some, you lose some. You know, he did state on social media that he is in the XFL for the long haul. And he did, but you know, like I said, you win some, you lose some. But I mean, it happens, you know.
Or in the Rock's case, you win a lot and you very rarely lose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. And
He made that $7 back.
Yeah.
He sure did. He really did. And then some.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and The Rock, he you know, he's very proud of his story, and
Rightfully so.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he put in a lot of work over the years. You know, when I was younger, I felt like he left wrestling too early, but you know, I mean, things happened, and he capitalized on an opportunity, and obviously it done a world of wonders. So I mean, used to, you had a wrestler in the movie, you're like, huh, okay, like Hulk Hogan and Thunder in Paradise. Ugh. Anyway,
My
Yeah.
husband loves bad movies, so he loves watching it just for the cringe factor. And I have secondhand embarrassment, so I can't watch it. But like Suburban Commando is his favorite. He loves to
Yes.
watch that movie, and I'm like,
Oh
I
man,
can't.
yeah.
I hate it. It's so bad. It's so bad.
And that had Undertaker in it too.
yeah, it
You're a
did.
dead man, Ramsey. But The Rock, when you take a risk, when you get into business and you take a risk, you're gonna, some things are going to succeed and some things are not. And the people who are complaining probably has never done anything significant in their lives ever. So it's like, okay, well, how much is your criticism really worth? Because you're not out there grinding just like The Rock is and hasn't made a name for yourself. So
Exactly. You know, people just love to prey on other shortcomings, and I think this is a case of that. And The Rock is definitely not perfect.
well, he
so-
was also behind Tales of the Territories, and that was a major success. So he's had
Yeah.
some successes in the past year or two as well. So
And it was once said by Winston Churchill that success is going from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm.
right.
I like that.
Yeah. And The Rock has never lost his enthusiasm.
No.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. All right, so we'll talk Forbidden Door right quick with AEW. I'm very excited for that. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. What a time to be alive. This is going to be so good. Like, that's like the number one match we're all looking forward to, me and my nephew for sure. Let's see. I should go ahead and see what else on the card is there.
Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be good too.
I'm going to shock both of you ladies right now. Are you prepared for this?
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen an Okada match in my entire life.
If you ever get the chance, maybe about an hour. Treat yourself.
I will
Okada
try.
is amazing.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. I haven't
Good.
seen a whole lot from him. My husband's actually seen more than I have. He's really good. He's really good.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, he's the top star over in New Japan, and rightfully so. They call him the Rainmaker. Him and Kenny Omega had an amazing match a few years back. Yeah, he is just all around. He's got that charisma. He's got a good look to him. And he's, you know, he definitely is what's the word I'm looking for? He's definitely a star because Marie was telling me last year when she watched Forbidden Door. Her husband was watching it with her, and he recognized Okada because he was learning Japanese, and he's like, "That's Okada," and she's like, "Huh."
How do you know his name?
Those
It's
are the
like-
only two that's been announced thus far for the card. But I'm hoping to see some other good stuff like we did last year, and I'm sure we'll get that.
I heard a
There's-
rumor that they might do CM Punk and Kenta.
Yes,
that
was
would
just
be
about to bring that up.
awesome.
Yeah.
Go to sleep versus go to sleep.
Yes. Yes. They have rebranded Best Friends as Chaos, to which when they Best Friends is somebody, I can't remember who at the moment, but when they compete in New Japan, they're also known as Chaos. So like
Yeah.
they've been doing that. So
yeah,
ahead.
it's Best Friends and Rocky Romero.
Thank you. I knew it was somebody and I just couldn't remember what it was.
Good old Rocky Romero. He was trained by Jesse Hernandez, the guy that I used to work for.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, actually, I never called a Rocky match, but I've worked a couple shows that he was featured on. Tremendous talent.
Also, that's awesome. Also, I think Jay White obviously is going to be involved because he was New Japan's top star for the longest time before he became All Elite. So I fully expect his feature on there. Probably FTR, some others.
It's going to be really cool because he'll be on the AEW side this time.
Mm-hmm. And Willow Nightingale recently just won the IWGP Women's Championship from Mercedes Monet, and so I'm thinking maybe we'll get a women's match out of that. I'm really excited. They haven't really announced too much yet, but I mean, we already know AEW New Japan. We already know we're gonna see some good stuff. I mean, Tanahashi. I hope Tetsuya Naito is involved this year. He wasn't involved last year, but I do hope he gets involved somehow this year. So, let's see. We got Sugar Shane. I actually think Omega versus Ospreay would be the better match than Danielson versus Okada. Oh yeah. I mean, it's up there. It's going to be a battle. Like they're going to try to outdo one another. I can just imagine the locker room talk. So, and I think that is on the 25th.
The 25th, yep.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yep. They better get cracking.
Oh yeah.
Is there anybody in the IWC that's complaining about not a big build for this with such little time, like the other promotion?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
They're just happy about Danielson versus Okada.
Yes, they're complaining. They're going,
Oh,
where's the story? And usually I'm on par with that. Usually I'm like, yes, where is the story? But with this, with Okada and Danielson, the story is it's Okada versus Danielson. I mean, because they've both been billed as the best wrestler on the planet at certain points in their career. And they've always been on opposite ends. And we finally get to see that, to see who really is. That's all they need. That's all they need is that who is the best wrestler in the world.
And I'll bring up too that Danielson's been doing some vignettes. They've been shown during Dynamite. So we're getting that, some of that. The only gripe I would have is I wish that we would see more from Okada's side. But other than that, it's gonna be amazing. Gosh, but yeah, definitely Wade whenever you get time. Oh my gosh, Okada is amazing.
Yeah, if either of you have like specific matches that I should probably check out, send me a link or two on Facebook.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do that.
I appreciate it.
And speaking of CM Punk, who we mentioned earlier, he returns to the he returns to debut on AEW Collision, and they are billing it as his second coming or second
The second
whatever
coming. Mm-hmm.
second coming. I kind of like how they did that. He is going to be in a match, tag team match. He's him and FTR against
Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe.
that's going to be so good.
Yes. Jay White and CM Punk in the same match. Holy
Oh.
cannoli. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's a hell of a main event. I remember when he announced it and I was like, "Oh man."
I know there's a lot of rumors going on that's saying that Samoa Joe is going to be CM Punk's first official story, feud, whatever you want to call it, coming back. And that's all well and good, and that's fine because that rekindles something from Ring of Honor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope at some point down the line we get a real, like, just a Jay White and CM Punk type deal.
On, yeah.
Because Jay White is great. I'm guessing, Wade, you're not too familiar with Jay White either, since you haven't seen much of Okada's stuff.
I'm more familiar with Jay White than I am Okada. That's for sure. I saw a handful of his matches during his time with Impact.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was impressed. I like his work.
I know this is gonna sound biased, but it's not, okay? But Jay White's match with Eddie Kingston this past February was one of the best matches that I've seen in the past 2 years. So it was really
Alrighty.
good.
With CM Punk returning as well, you know, hopefully he's learned his lesson and controls his temper next time around. What are some matches you'd like to see him in other than Jay White?
Me or Wade? Sorry.
Either or.
Wade, you can go ahead and go first.
Are you sure?
Sure.
All right. I mean, my answer may be short because I'm not a connoisseur of AEW content, but CM Punk, I would like to see him revisit with MJF for sure.
Absolutely.
They were definitely a highlight of 2022. It was a hot feud. You got to bring it back. I would like to see CM Punk. You know, let's do it at least one time, man. CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. Let's see what they can do 10 years after, you know, their little
20.
summer stint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God versus Jesus in the IWC.
Right. Yeah. CM Punk and Samoa Joe. Like, I just want to see like some nostalgic stuff. I know Punk has got to put over the younger talent, but I don't know. It's hard for me to comment on the younger talent of AEW because like I don't watch enough of it to know who's in the position to be put into a match with CM Punk. But from a nostalgic standpoint, I mean, yeah, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, CM Punk and Christian Cage, I think would be a phenomenal match. Stuff like that, you know.
Christian Cage doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
No. Sadly, and that's the story of his whole career. He's my number 3 favorite wrestler of all time is Christian Cage, and like the only ones above that, Ultimate Dragon number 2 for me, and then Shawn Michaels number 1.
Oh man, Ultimate Dragon, man. Oh.
Yeah,
that was somebody who was amazing too.
And it's unfortunate that he got the run in WWE that he got.
Yeah. He had a badass music, intro music and all.
Yep.
But, yeah. Ultimate, yeah. God. I need to watch some of his stuff again. But I think for me, CM Punk, when he was at the show in Atlanta, when he was at the show in Atlanta, he faced Lee Moriarty, and that was a really good match. And so I like seeing stuff like that. That was like one of the big things about Punk that I liked upon him going to AEW. So with that being said, I like to see him versus the likes of Ricky Starks, Swerve
Yes.
Strickland.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. My mind is escaping me. I keep wanting to say Ethan Page. We could throw that in there. Yeah, there's so much talent that could
Ethan
really...
Page would need a serious revamping before that.
Yeah. I agree.
I agree. He's a big nothing burger right now, and unfortunately, so.
Yeah.
Is Scorpio Sky still active?
Not right now, I don't think.
Man, they dropped the ball on him then, because I'll tell you this, Scorpio Sky is a guy that you could build a company around.
Right. I think he got hurt, and I think he's just now getting healthy, and there's just, I guess they're right in the middle of stuff, so there's nothing for him quite yet. But with the new show coming, perhaps.
Yeah, I've been a huge mark for Scorpio Sky since he was Quicksilver.
Shane says best friends is boring until they arrive with their mom in the minivan. Oh, I love Sue. Well, Shane says he wants to. Timothy says Jamie Hayter is still the queen. Hey. He wants to see CM Punk versus everybody's favorite, Orange Cassidy.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I think he'd get tired of that quick. Him and Malachi Black wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yes, Shane, I was going to mention that. Got to give it up for Alex Shelley winning the Impact World title.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to him.
I
know I got to... Go ahead.
I don't know. I think that all of the people involved with that locker room fight needs to just bury the hatchet and make some money off of that thing and be like CM Punk and FTR versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and just be done with it. Money. Yes.
Eric Bischoff said it best. Controversy creates cash.
Yes.
Come on now. But I know I got to head out. Wade's got to head out. And I know it's been kind of short tonight, so I'm glad we got to fit it in.
I thought of another match I'd like to see CM Punk in real quick.
What's
CM
that?
Punk versus the former Buddy Murphy.
Oh, I'm 100% down with that.
Because I remember Buddy Murphy versus Roman Reigns. And like that was incredible. Buddy Murphy was able to get people to take notice of him during that, and I think he could do the same thing with him and Punk. And Punk could put him over, and everything would be grand, because Punk's not going to lose heat, and Buddy Murphy, he'd be popped up to that next level, get the big rub.
He's somebody else that's really underrated. He was underrated in WWE, and I feel like he is a little bit in NXT. Or not NXT, but AEW, but House of Black are trios champions right now, so maybe not too underrated, but yeah, he's definitely a hidden gem too.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Well, that is it for us for now. Marie is gonna be out next week, and I don't know if I'm gonna do anything or not, but regardless, we will be back.
I will be here tomorrow for a tailgate party, though. So
okay, we were talking about doing a watch along for Collision that hasn't been set in stone yet, but so, anyways, Wade, thank you for joining us. If you want to go ahead and give out your plugs, go ahead.
Well, first, I would like to thank both of you for allowing me to come onto your guys' show. I had a great time tonight. Really appreciate being on, and if anybody wants to check out my projects, it's ringscoops.com, ringscoops.com. I've got in works a development for a brand new studio show, because I haven't done a show in like months. So we got a new studio show coming up that's going to be debuting this fall. We've got the Ringscoops card game You guys can check that out at ringscoops.com. We got VR chat arena. So if anybody has a VR headset or VR chat on your PC, you guys can go in there and hang out in the Ringscoops arena with a wrestling ring. We got backstage area. We got the do and don't lists on the back too. You know, it's just very detailed. You guys can check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you again for having me on.
No problem. I'm glad we got to do this again. And any last words, Marie?
No, just stay safe out there, everybody.
All right, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye. Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go.